everyone, and welcome to another episode of Game Overcast, starring me, David Kaelin, the Game Over CEO. Thank you for joining us for another episode. Today is episode 21. We're 21, Dan. Woo! 21.
Shots. Yeah. It's good stuff.
Good stuff. Now,
actually, I did tequila shots with my brother and sister last night because my sister's in town.
You did tequila shots last night?
Yeah.
Oh, Dan.
Yep. it was
That's fun.
It's exactly how you imagine that went down.
Yeah. Well, that's fun. Do you know I've never done a tequila shot? I've never done a shot of anything.
Just don't.
I just don't. I don't drink.
Good.
That's not my thing. No. Me and alcohol don't really go together.
I did it for my sister.
Yeah. Well, that's nice to do it for your family. So anyway, so here we are. We're sober. We're doing episode 21, Game Overcast. So thank you for joining us every week for this show to find out what's going on at Game Over and in the world of gaming. It's summertime. It's Texas heat. Actually, like half the country's in a heat wave right now. So it's over 100 degrees here practically every day, and that's not that unusual for Texas. But like a lot of the country is over 100 right now. I mean, everything from like Wisconsin, Chicago, like Philadelphia. What's some other like towns that are higher elevation. But yeah, it's like 100 degrees everywhere, and then of course, like, Arizona, California, Texas, Florida, all the southern states, Tennessee, Georgia, we're just baking, we are cooking. But crazy heat. So I hope everyone is staying inside, and I hope your air conditioning is working because we all need it right now. But anyway, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us again. So we're going to jump right into it and do level 1 current events and find out what's going on in the world of gaming. And we're back with level 1 current events. So what's going on right now in the world of gaming? I know Game Overcast is where all of you get your gaming news. Exclusively. Yeah. There's really no other source, because where else are you going to find out just a few random, non-connected, mostly non-relevant nuggets of game-relating knowledge that you can't find anywhere else on Earth? There's just nowhere else to go except Game Overcast. So you're welcome for me being your source and your outlet into that world. So in national gaming news, the Grammys. The Grammys, the awards for music. They've announced there's a new dedicated video game category for next year. Yeah, so video game music. Nice. It's for music. This is their quoted description. Created specifically for or as a companion to a current video game or other interactive media. Yeah, that's a catchy title. That might even fit on the trophy. Some of that might.
I'm sure it does.
I'm sure it'll say like video game music or something. They'll shorten it somehow. But anyway, yeah. So that's cool for next year. I mean, we've known for years. Like I love a lot of the old retro gaming music where really it's no words, no lyrics, but just catchy beats. But now, today's modern video games have, of course, very elaborate musical scores, on the level with and sometimes even beyond, and certainly longer than most movies. And so it takes a lot of work. It takes a whole, crew of people to put them together. And so, yeah, so it's nice that they're finally getting recognized by the Grammys. So that's cool. We'll look for that next year. Also, there's a report that came out called the 2022 Essential Facts About the Video Game Industry, which I look at this report every year because it's pretty much, the backbone of my existence is seeing what's on this report every year. But no, I've never heard of this report. I don't know, but it's a thing, I guess. Anyway, it had some really interesting facts on there, including 2/3 of Americans play video games regularly. So that makes sense, right? And 2/3 of us means that in America, that's about 215 million people. So we have about 350 million people. So about 215 of them, 215 million, play video games. So that's a lot. Also, statistics that they pointed out, 75% of those who play video games are actually over the age of 18. So that thought, like when I was a kid, video games were literally like toys. They were sold in like Toys R Us and KB Toys. They were marketed as toys. They were marketed to kids. It was a kids thing. Adults, didn't get it, didn't want it, didn't do it.
Then we grew up.
Right. But like my parents didn't play games at all.
Yeah.
Not even to play with me once as a kid or something to show me how to do it or whatever. They'd get me and say, give me the games and say, here, you do the, put the thing in the thing and it does something, Yeah, you'll figure it out. You're a kid. You're smart. But adults didn't play at all. It was literally a kid thing. And now, 75% are over the age of 18. I hardly play video games at all. But that's more because of work and stuff. But my kids, they like video games, but they don't play them that much. It's compared to how I was when I was that age, I think they play them less than me, which is really interesting, I guess. The average age of a gamer is 33 years old. So that makes sense. It's mostly people in their 30s and 40s that shop at Game Over. That's kind of our more average age. More people over 45 play games than those under 18. So that's also really interesting. Because, over 45, that's people older than me. There's more of them than people under 18 playing. It's also people of all ages, all sexes, all income levels. There's basically gamers of every age, shape, size, background. Everybody plays. The consoles they play them on, though, might not be surprising. Most people play on their phone. That's 70% play on their smartphone. 52% play on a game console. Probably not that one, but a game console of some kind. And then you got 43% that play on PCs, 26% play on a tablet, and 7% play on some kind of VR device, like an Oculus or something kind of headset. So 60% of people play on multiple devices, and that's why those. I read that the first time, and I was like, that adds up to a lot more than 100%. And I thought you had to have only 100% of a whole. But 60% play multiple devices, so that's why some people probably play on their phone, their console, and their PC, and so they get counted in each category. So anyway, but smartphone's the number one, and the game console's number two. PC is only number three. So interesting, essential facts about the video game industry. So thank you guys for putting together that report. I'm sure you spent all year putting it together. In other news, Madden Football, the de facto NFL football game that's been coming out every year for 30 plus years. There's a new one coming out, obviously, this year in the fall, in August. It's Madden 23 Football, and they're going to have John Madden on the cover again. They haven't had him on the cover of the game in over 20 years. So the last time he was on it was the 2000 edition. So it's been 22 years since he's been on it. But because he just passed away last year, they felt like he's the one that they should celebrate on the game. Plus, every time they put a star athlete on there, it seems like they have a really crappy year the next year. So it's like there's a curse. There's a curse. Yeah, Dan says a curse. There's a curse of Madden football that like Patrick Mahomes or I don't know, Tom Brady or somebody, they'll put some kind of big pro, successful quarterback or somebody on there, and then that next year their team doesn't make it to the Super Bowl. There's some kind of curse with everybody seeing their picture on that game cover that just makes them have a bad season. I don't know why. So I guess Madden's going to have a bad year, but if he died last year, this year really can't be worse than that, right? I don't know. Okay, so that's all the general gaming news. Let's talk about more retro-specific news. So there was another report with the most, highest grossing video games of all time. So I thought that was pretty interesting until I read the games they picked, or not picked. I mean, I guess it should have been things that were just facts, not opinions that somebody picked. They should be facts. And so what they listed on here, most highest grossing games of all time. Okay. So let me just read these to you and see if this makes sense to you. Okay, so number one, Pac-Man.
Highest grossing?
Highest grossing, made the most money. And this is adjusted for, current dollars.
I think
right?
Pokemon should be at the top of that list.
Pokemon's nowhere on this list.
That's a fallacy.
Pokemon Go is near the bottom of this list, but that's the only Pokemon on the list. But think about it. It's like they must be talking about how much money they make.
Only the video games and an individual video game, or the property?
I believe it's the property. No. I'm sorry. It's individual video games.
Okay.
That's why. That's why Pokemon's not on there. But Pac-Man, because Pac-Man, I guess, just the basic version of Pac-Man has been released on every console ever made. And so if they count the sales for everything, for the Game Boy version, the Super Nintendo version, the the Atari versions, the arcades, every time that they get money for selling the game Pac-Man, so they're saying Pac-Man's number one, $19.2 billion in today's money, added up, like adjusted, for today's money.
Like over time, like every version of Pac-Man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I'm not sure how they. Yes. That's what I thought too. So I wrote some of these down just because it seems really weird to me. So number one, Pac-Man, that kind of makes sense though.
I guess I could see that.
Because like Pac-Man is the most iconic gaming franchise.
And, like, depending on what metrics they're using, I can see that, but like.
Yeah.
Weird.
So 19.2 billion for Pac-Man. Number two, Space Invaders, 19 billion.
Now we're getting weird.
And that was but think about the arcade days, like when the arcades started up, like in the 70s. Pac-Man and Space Invaders were the two most popular arcade games.
Yeah.
And everybody that put a quarter in there back then, that quarter is now adjusted for inflation. So that quarter is worth like $5 or something now.
Oh, okay.
Right?
That's
so
kind of ridiculous.
so it's adjusted for inflation. So when you would put a quarter in that
What a
machine,
weird list.
it's a weird list. But so number two, Space Invaders, 19 billion. And then what I found out is like most of this list, after that point, there's some games you'll recognize, like Pokemon Go is on there specifically.
Yeah, I mean, that's like a really, that's like the highest grossing mobile game of all time.
Right, but that's the thing. This list ends up, once you go past that, it skews very heavily into the mobile games. Because all those, they make their money off of like the in-game purchases and stuff. And those little microtransactions where people spend $1 here or there or whatever, and that adds up. Okay, so number three, Dungeon Fighter Online.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it. Huge in South Korea and China. Number four, Street Fighter 2. So kind of like Pac-Man. Street Fighter 2 has been released every year, ever, on every console, ever, every version of it, ever. So 17 billion for that one. Then number five, Arena of Valor, which is a Chinese game, 14 billion. And then everything else after that, it's like they're all mobile games and apps and things with in-game purchases and stuff like that, like Fortnite and stuff like that, because it's like free, but you pay for all the upgrades, right? All that kind of stuff.
Fortnite.
Like DLC basically just dominates this list, having to make those little purchases in there. And then you go a little further down, you hit like number 16 is Super Mario Brothers, number 17 is Donkey Kong, 22 is Super Mario World, 24 New Super Mario Brothers Wii, and number 25 Animal Crossing New Horizons. And then somewhere around there was Pokemon Go. I guess I didn't write that one down, but Pokemon Go was on there.
Animal Crossing New Horizons is on this list?
Number 25. Yeah, it was like at the bottom of this list. This is like highest grossing of all time. But most of the top 25, like over half of the top 25, was all basically like free to play online or mobile games that have in-game purchases. And so it's all those little transactions in the games where people it generates millions and millions of dollars every year, and so it adds up to billions. Yeah.
Okay.
So interesting, but yeah, very
interesting and sad.
Very surprising. Yeah, I agree. It's kind of sad. But cool list. So let's see. In other news, Sonic Origins is out now, I guess, available digitally. So that's a Sonic 1, 2, 3, Knuckles, and Sonic CD combination on current gen consoles, available digitally. So that's cool. Everybody loves the old Sonic games, and Sonic is really hot property again. And so yeah, definitely pick that up if you're interested in Sonic products. And then I've also got some new stuff at the Game Over stores that we're going to talk about in the next section on company info. But that's all the news. So let's go into company stuff now. Let's go to level 2 company info and find out what's happening at your local Game Over video game store. And we're back with level 2 company info. So what's going on at your local Game Over video game store? So sales going on. We've got a big one right now from Friday, let's see, June 24th through June 30th. So basically the whole rest of June, you get 10% off all purchases under $50. You get 15% off all purchases from $50 to $100, and you get 20% off any purchase of $100 or more. So buy more, save more. That's the name of the game. So yeah, that's a pretty cool sale, because that way it's not like just on one type of game or one console or something. It's like it's anything in the store. You spend more money, we save you more money. It's a win-win. We work together. We're a team. I help you get cool gaming stuff and save you money. That's what I do.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Let's see. The next sale, then we've got a 4th of July blowout sale. So that one is the first week in July, from July 1st through July 7th. It's going to be 50% off all Skylanders, Infinity, and Dimension figures, plus 50% off all DVD movies, CDs, books, magazines, and strat guides. So all that stuff in the stores, 50% off that entire week. There's no online code for that one or for the last one. So these are in-store only specials. So you got to come into your local Game Over store to get those. We're also doing a special one-day sale on July 4th. So July 4th this year is on a Monday. And so, if you have the day off of work, or, you can come by a Game Over store, like, that's the day you need to hit us up, because there's going to be 20% off everything in the stores on Monday, July 4th only.
Nice.
So for that one day, from all hours, from 11 to 8, anytime the store is open, everything in the store, big or small, any console, any version, any games, 20% off every purchase, one day only, July 4th. So celebrate your gaming independence with your favorite independent gaming store.
That's good.
You like that?
I like that a lot.
Yeah, we do a commercial about that. We'll chop that out and put my smiling face on there.
Some meats behind it.
Yeah. And then we have a trade-in bounties going on too. So if you have any old games, consoles, accessories, collectibles, we buy basically anything video game related. Bring it into our stores. We're paying extra this month for certain Nintendo Switch titles, but we buy and sell everything. So all the way back to Atari stuff like this. We'll buy a cool Mario phone like this. We might buy a microphone, probably not, but we buy Rob's, not Spider-Man. But anything cool video game related stuff, we'll buy it, bring it in. Let's see. Upcoming events. We also do free retro gaming tournaments at all of our stores, or at some of our stores. Sorry, not all of them, but most of our stores. We do one in each market where we operate. Those are coming up on Saturday, July 9th. So there's going to be a free tournament in our Bellevue, Washington store, in our Arlington, Texas store, in our South Austin store, in our Selma, Texas store near San Antonio, and in our Houston store on 1960. So all 5 of those stores will be having free tournaments on Saturday, July 9th. If you want to find out the times and the games that they're doing and the rules and how to sign up and stuff like that, you have to visit their local Facebook pages. So just search, Facebook for, like Game Over Selma or Game Over Arlington, and check them out and see what the details are. But we'd love to have you there. They're free, they're fun, they're open to the whole, community. So very casual but fun tournaments, and you win prizes. So nothing to lose, everything to gain. So come check it out. Okay, now I'm going to go to new products in our stores. And I actually have a lot of them this week. So I've been showing some new vinyl records and some new plushies lately. So this week, though, move this over here. So I've got another entire tub, full of stuff.
Tub of stuff.
Tub of stuff. Tub of stuff. All right, here we go. So first of all, actually, I'm going to start over here with this box. So this is a new vinyl soundtrack that we've got. This is Street Fighter Alpha 3.
Ooh,
Boom. That's pretty. This is big. This is like a hard cardboard sleeve.
How many vinyl in there?
3. Count them, 3 vinyls in there. $69. Street Fighter Alpha 3.
Very cool.
So very cool. Coming to your local Game Over Video Game stores now, and available right now on our website, gameovervideogames.com. So we got that. Also, we finally got in. Look what we finally got. Gaiares.
Gary's.
Oh, Gaiares.
What's that for?
Do you remember Gaiares? You remember when we were talking about Gaiares?
Oh, I remember Gary's.
You still have the clip art? You can put a picture up here? Maybe. We'll try and find the picture of the Garys, because we thought it was 2 Garys, like just 2 guys named Gary. But it's not. Apparently it's this girl. Her name's Gary.
There she is.
She doesn't look like a Gary.
There's only one of her, too.
I don't know, yeah. Maybe the ship is named Gary, and she's named Gary, and so they're the Garys.
Yeah. Totally. That's what it is.
So, but anyway, so we finally got these in. And if you get them, it's $54.99. Suggested list price. You get a free Gaiares. Can you say Gaiares? And I cannot, because it actually has the pronunciation on there. It says Gaiares.
Gaiares.
Remember, that's how you're supposed to say it.
Oh, like Darius, or
yeah,
or Gradius.
Yeah, Darius, Gradius, Gaiares.
That's okay. So it's the same.
So it's yeah.
Yeah.
It's in that series, I guess, of thought.
That's good stuff.
Anyway, but yeah, so you get a free shirt, either a large or extra large, with the game, brand new, sealed, very cool. And for our feature section today, I'm going to open one of these and show you what it looks like. So we're going to do an unboxing on those today. So be ready. Put the rest of them over here. So we got more that are on our website now, gameovervideogames.com. So check those out. Then we've got plushies, a lot more plushies.
Ooh.
So you like plushies?
Got any Donkey Kongs in there?
Yes, Donkey Kong's in there too.
All right.
So look, so we got a little Koopa. Okay, got him. Cool. We got, who's that guy? Look.
It's like shitty tails.
It's cute little Tails, but he has like a kind of like a little Funko Pop style. He's got a big head. Yeah, I guess because we didn't get a Sonic. There's only Tails, so he got kind of a big head. No?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Get it.
Okay. Did that joke?
It wasn't like ha funny. It was like, oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So then also I'm gonna move my stuff over here. So then we've got the Chain Chomp, complete with a chain. Yeah, it has a chain. So included there. So we got that. It does chomp. Then we got Waluigi and Wario.
You gotta get both.
That's awful. Okay.
That's not
Got
bad,
those?
Actually.
Very cool. These I really like. Little piranha plants, and they like stand up, and you can bend the little, the little
That's great.
flower. Yeah, I like those a
I
lot.
want one of those for my desk.
Those are cool. We got Goombas. Okay.
Mario does like a charge attack. He doesn't.
Yeah, I need a Mario one. Here, wait. I got a Mario one. Okay. Mario and Luigi.
Who are those?
Mario and Luigi. Now this is a pretty big Goomba compared to Mario, isn't it? Is that size accurate?
No, yeah, that's about half of Mario.
Yeah, I guess so. So if he's just walking along, then Mario's like, woohoo!
Yeah.
Woohoo! Okay, so we got that. Okay, I got too many plushies here. Okay, now Donkey Kong. I heard Donkey Kong requests. So we got Diddy. Diddy diddy doo, diddy diddy doo, diddy diddy. That's a cool little ditty.
It is a good ditty.
And then we got Donkey Kong with this big barrel.
Oh, I don't have that one.
He's got a barrel o' fun.
It's a cup holder.
No, it's not a cup holder. It's too small. But you can put like pencils or something in there.
I meant like a pencil holder.
Yeah, it's a little barrel. Where are you going with that?
I'm just gonna hold on to it.
Okay, you hold on to that one. I'll get that back later, I guess. He's pretty cute.
You can put him on.
He told me that he wants to be your friend.
I know, man.
He likes you.
$29.99.
Yeah. Let's see this. Yeah, this one's $29.99. Sorry, I should have been saying prices. Most of these.
I've got store credit for that.
Let's see. These are 20. Mario and Luigi are 17. The Piranha Plant's $19.99. Most of these smaller ones are like 12.
This is a must-have.
$19.99 on these two, and then 12 on these two.
Where can I buy these, David?
I'm glad that you asked that question, Dan, because all of these are now also available online at gameovervideogames.com, and they're on their way to your local Game Over Video Games store soon. And so most stores, probably by the time you watch this video, will have all of these in stock in their stores. So check your local store or go online to gameovervideogames.com.
Do it.
Then there's one more, and this one is special. Not every Game Over store is going to have this.
Oh.
This is exclusive to, I believe, our website, gameovervideogames.com.
Oh my gosh.
So, you like plushies? Do you like plushies, Dan?
Yeah.
Okay. You like cool plushies?
I like that. The cooler.
Cool?
the better.
Okay. Cooler the better. Do you like big plushies?
I like them big.
You like it big?
Yeah.
Okay. How about a big...
Big.
Sorry. We got the big honkin' Bowser. Look at this monster right here. Yeah, sorry, that's probably really loud in the microphone too. But this is pretty big. This is like bigger than my head. Ah! Not the bad ear. But yeah, this sucker's huge. And this is expensive. This is like 50 something, I think. What is this? $59. But this is a very large, very highly detailed
Very good. Wow,
plushie. I mean, this is This is Fancy Pants plushie.
Great.
So if you really want to impress your friends with your stuffed animals, this is the one that you need to get. This is the impressive one. So all these available now at your local Game Over stores. Or if you don't see them there, you can go to GameOverVideogames.com and pick up your new plushies. Oh, thank you. All right, so I'm going to put these all back away here. Push that away. You want the Donkey Kong?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool, yo.
He's going to hold my pencils.
All right, and I'm going to leave this here because I'm going to open that later. Actually, I should leave the shirt too because technically this is what you get. Because when you buy it, you get the shirt and you get the game. So we'll talk about that on the feature section next. So, yeah, so pretty cool, right? Lots of cool new stuff at Game Over.
Love it.
Okay. Also, let's do an update on CGF, Classic Game Fest, the biggest retro gaming event in Texas, one of the biggest in the country, and really one of the few conventions out there that's dedicated to video games and specifically retro games. Because there are other bigger conventions like Comic-Cons and stuff, and there's even some bigger gaming conventions. But for conventions dedicated to retro gaming, that don't have a bunch of like toys, don't have like wrestlers or like 80s movie stars or stuff like that in them, that are just about gaming, like retro gaming. Every booth is related to retro gaming. CGF is one of the biggest in the country. So definitely check it out. It's only 30 days away now, so we got a month to go, like 4 weeks until this event. It's going to be amazing. Tickets are on sale now at ClassicGameFest.com. We're just about sold out of vendor space. So if you want a booth there to sell your stuff, whether you're like, just an individual person, collector, if you have a small business or a chain of stores like Game Over or, any kind of retro gaming store or business or side hustle or something, like you really need a booth at Classic Game Fest. If you want to make some serious moolah selling that stuff, that's the place to be. So we're already now up to 123 different vendors, artists, guests, booths. And so packed to the gills, all of them gaming related. So again, it's not a lot of fluff. Even the sponsors and everything, every booth has to be video game related. So you will find video games at every single booth, 123 times in there. Wristbands on sale in Game Over stores also, so you can get them locally at a Game Over store near you if you are lucky enough to live near a Game Over store. And so guest list for CGF, Daniel Pacina from Mortal Kombat, Warren Davis from Qbert, Emma Pearl, YouTuber, Abdallah Smash, YouTuber, Tim Kitzrow from NBA Jam, Paul Niemeyer from Mortal Kombat, Brian Collin, like Rampage, General Chaos, all kinds of cool stuff, Brett Weiss, amazing writer, Jordan's Cosplay, Jeffrey Wittenhagen, Frank Wood, Ryan Berger, George G to the Next Level Grayson, and David Murray, the 8-bit guy. So pretty crazy list. Plus tons of live music. So if you like live music, you like that loud rock and roll the kids are listening to these days, we got rock and roll, we got hip hop, we got piano, we got all kinds of cool music at Classic Game Fest. So our lineup this year, we have The Arcadian, Descendants of Erdrick, Bitforce, Creative Mindframe 1-Up, DJ Rockman, Masters of Unlocking, Zero Wolf, Gross Angel, 88-Bit, and K Murdoch. So that alone, like you would come just for the music alone to CGF. It's amazing. You just sit and just rock out to cool video game music all weekend. So yeah, playing all weekend long in our upstairs stage, which is amazing.
Say too, you got to get there early.
Yeah, you do have to get to CGF early.
You're gonna buy because vendors put out all the good stuff early. It's so crazy to see it all.
Yeah, so Dan's saying you got to get there early, which is true. Like you want to get the VIP band, which is this one this year, the blue one. It says VIP. That gets you in at 9 o'clock on Saturday instead of 10. Everybody gets in at 10 on Sunday, but on Saturday, everybody except the VIPs get in at 10. If you have the VIP, you get in at 9. And what you do in that hour between 9 a.m. and 10 a.m. on Saturday is you haul ass through the convention hall because you want to buy up the best deals you can before everybody else continues to flood in that door and snap them up before you can get to them. But that extra hour of shopping is really huge. And so you want to get in line early, get in the door as fast as you can, and look for the absolute best deals, the rarest stuff, and scoop it all up before anybody else can. But it's very cool. But then, yeah, you want to stay all weekend because we're going to have 50 arcades this year. 50 arcades set up, all on free play all weekend. So just playing in the arcades, you can do that all weekend and have a great time. Worth the price of admission right there. The band lineup, music and panels from some of these guests all weekend long. That's worth the price of admission. Just sitting up there hanging out, listening to cool people and cool music. That's worth it. And then you got the vendor room. The biggest collection of retro video games for sale in the entire country is going to be in that room. So you can't miss it. I mean, it's amazing. Of course, Game Over Video Games will be there. You know, we are one of the founding, sponsors and creators of this event. But like, there's tons of other companies there. So, there's literally over 100 other places besides Game Over there. So definitely come check it out. All of our vendors are really cool people, very nice. I recommend all of them, really. I mean, buy stuff from us because, I work for Game Over, of course. But I mean, buy from everybody. I mean, there's amazing stuff like video game related artwork and jewelry and clothes and and then obviously games, consoles and accessories, collectibles, so much gaming related stuff that it really will blow your mind. Our vendor hall is unmatched. It is amazing. So definitely check that out. And again, just 4 weeks away. So get your tickets now. Get hyped. Get ready. Get there early on Saturday morning to check it out. So that's the CGF wrap up. So now let's go into level 3. We're going to do our feature section. And this week, what we're going to do is an unboxing of the new Gaiares game.
Gaiares.
Yes, Gaiares. So let's get those Gaiares ready. We're going to do Gaiares next. And we're back with level 3, the feature section. So this week, we've got the new games, finally. This has been delayed, I think, twice. This was supposed to come out months ago. Yeah. And we were calling it Gaiares because we didn't know, we were dumb, but it's actually called Gaiares. And like Dan said earlier, it's there's some other shooter games kind of in the same style, Darius, Gradius, and this is Gaiares. So if you say them all like that, it kind of makes sense. But just looking at the name, it looks totally weird. But this is the T-shirt, kind of the remake of the T-shirts they had back when the original came out. They even have the original spokesman that wore the T-shirt in the ads. He's promoting this new game. So you do, for a limited time only, get a free T-shirt when you buy this. But what I'm going to do is this week I'm going to do an unboxing and show you what you are getting when you buy this. And then next week on the show we'll do a feature section with me actually hooking up a Sega and playing this thing. Yeah. So we're going to check it out, yo. Sweet. So first I want to move this aside. So you get your T-shirt, and I'm not going to unbox this because everybody knows what a white T-shirt looks like, right? Okay. So this is the exciting part. So here we've got the game, and I did not get any opening tools, so I might need some assistance here. And don't give me like a freaking butcher knife. Good Lord. I knew you were going to do that.
I'm not going to throw it at you.
Okay. Okay, here you go. Thank you. Why don't I carry a big knife with me everywhere? I don't need a big knife.
You're already sharp enough.
I am sharp. Ah, nice. All right, so according to the package, this is what we're supposed to get with this package. See if I can read this. Okay, you get the embellished slipcover, which is this. Ooh, and it does slip right on there. So this looks like an original Genesis box. This is actually not the U.S. cover. I believe this is the Japanese cover when it came out. So that's actually pretty close to the original, cover. But you get the embellished slipcover. Okay. What are we doing here?
I'm just checking.
Well, don't open it yet because I'm going to do it.
I'm just looking at it. This
can't take it anywhere.
Good. If you could just line that up with your other Sega Genesis games.
Yeah, this is pretty well recreated. I mean, this
got the
hang tab.
Yeah. All right, I'm done.
Okay. Thank you.
Carry on.
All right, thank you very much. And this is by Retrobit. So thank you Retrobit for
high quality.
Not only just releasing games for the classic consoles, because we love that anyway, but you actually find, like with Retrobit, they're getting good games and they release them in a good, like, collectible way. Very high quality box, very, pretty much identical to the Genesis boxes. So let's see. The next thing that you're getting is a reversible sleeve. Okay. So I'm going to open this up. Ooh, and try and not look at all the goodies yet. But first, I'm going to show you, like, this is the sleeve. Comes with it. Okay. And then you can reverse it. And the reverse, this is what the American release, I believe, of Gaiares was. So see that? That's the American one. Yeah.
I recognize that.
Yeah. So this probably looks more familiar if you've seen this game,
That's very cool.
like the original version. But you get both. You can just reverse the cover. So yeah, so that's really cool. Okay, so we got the slip cover. Then we got the reversible sleeve. Next, we got a full color instruction manual. So that is going to be this part right here.
Awesome.
And look, it's very glossy, very shiny.
Very nice.
Shiny and new. Come aboard.
What?
We're expecting you.
Stop.
You know what that song is?
No.
You don't know what that song is?
No.
The Love Boat. Okay.
Not my generation.
Are any of you over the age of 50? Do you know the Love Boat theme?
I know who wrote the Love Boat.
We'll have to edit that out of the show because that just makes me sound like an old timer.
Paul Williams wrote the Love Boat theme, and he wrote all the music for the original Muppet movie.
Okay.
But I don't actually know the Love Boat theme, so I know
Yeah.
that tidbit.
Well, anyway, very cool. Full color. Here, I'll kind of flip through here. Yeah, you get descriptions, stories, screenshots, all the weapons, all the details, and then what is this? This is in Japanese back here. Wait, hang on a second.
Can you read Japanese?
Okay, it's got English and Japanese. I cannot read Japanese. This just looks like a bunch of symbols to me. I don't.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's what Japanese is.
Okay, well then, yeah, that's what it is. Okay. So anyway, but very cool. So, nice instruction manual. Well done, sir. Well done. Okay, let's see if I can put all this up like that. Okay, so you can see it all. Okay. So, next thing, let's see, after the manual, we got the t-shirt. Let's see, certificate of authenticity. So, this cartridge that I just opened is number 5,844 out of 6,000.
Only 6,000.
So, I guess they're only making 6,000 of these bad boys.
That's cool.
That means that this price is going to be going up in the very near future.
Right.
So get them now while they're 54, because I bet in about a month or two they're going to be like 80 or more. But that's really cool. It's actually a very nice certificate too. It's got like an embossed, shiny, fancy kind of text on there. So that's very cool. Okay, so I'm going to put that maybe like that. Okay. Then we've got what's next here? Oh, here's Mr. Gaiares.
Hello.
This dude. That's the guy that promoted it back in the day.
Gaiares.
That's the guy that was our promoter. But that's him back in the day. That's him now. Whoops.
Wait, for real?
Yeah, the same guy. That guy is now that guy.
Well, what was he doing back in the day?
He just promoted it. Let's see. He was like a... I don't remember his story, but he was like a... actually, this is all about his story. Let's see. A native of San Francisco Bay Area, Jamie won the renovation products in 1989 as one of the first employees joining as a playtester while still attending high school. So he was selected to become the spokesperson for the upcoming release of Gaiares in an advertising campaign on the anime-inspired shooter to the North American public. They got a free t-shirt, how to pronounce the game title, and the quality of the game itself. And he would go down in history and always be associated with the Gaiares release.
Very nice.
So yeah, the original t-shirt had to explain how to say the name because none of us got it right, And then this is his new portrait as a grown man. So yeah, this talks about this little interview with him. That's cool.
I love that. That's super cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get kind of the history from him. So very nice, very nice. And then I'm going to go ahead and pluck the game card out of here, and I'll just show you the box. So, okay. So now the game cartridge, this is not like a normal game cartridge either. It's, what's the word? I'm going to try and read this.
What do you mean by that?
It's translucent.
Oh, it is
Text-tight cartridge.
Slightly translucent, but it does look and feel like your classic.
Yeah.
And does it play on a Sega Genesis?
Yes. This will play on Sega Genesis, and it will also play on a Mega Drive, I believe, won't it?
I think those are the same.
Yeah. Yeah, because the Mega Drive one, it's just a rectangular hole for the cartridge. The Genesis ones had the curves on the sides, so like Mega Drive games will fit in the US one, but the US ones won't fit the other way. But anyway, but it's it's like a clear. I'm sure won't be able to see this in the YouTube show, but yeah, it's kind of like a dark. It's like the smoke color in 64 or something. It's like it's clear, but it's smoky. But
I like it.
But it's cool, and it'll have a nice sticker, nice clean pins on the bottom. Let's see what's on the back here. Just got a little sticker with the picture of one of the ships and Retrobit's logo, and it says some print that's very small that I can't read because I'm old. Avoid exposing cartridge to extreme temperatures. Be careful not to immerse in water. And for protection, when cartridge is not in use, place inside protective sleeve. Or a protective case, sorry. So, yeah. So, unfortunately, all you guys that wanted to take this underwater and swim with it, it's not recommended.
Bummer.
But otherwise, it's, it looks like a normal Sega cart. It's just that it's this translucent smoky color. So very cool. So this is the unboxing of the, and say it with me, Gaiares. Gaiares game. Gaiares. So it's not Gary's. Not Gary's, not Gaiares. Like diaries? No. Gary's? No. Gaiares. So we've all learned something today, haven't we? Maybe. Okay, but anyway, so that is the full unboxing. So this, you get all of this fine stuff and products with this one purchase right now. While supplies last. Yes, and the t-shirt. The t-shirt definitely while supplies last because those will run out. But all the rest of this is actually packed in with the cart, so as long as it's sealed, you're going to get all this in your package. But yeah, very cool. So that is the full unboxing on Gaiares. And so thank you to Retrobit for putting these out, and I hope you all enjoyed the unboxing video. And so next week on the show, during the feature, we're going to put this in a Genesis and put it to the test.
Boom.
And see how this baby plays. So we'll do that next week. And so now let's go on to level 4 and do the boss battle. And we're back with level 4, the boss battle. So this week for the boss battle, this has been, it's a constant boss battle, really. And we talked about it, I think, on the show before, but I wanted to talk about it again. Just it's recently in my mind. But basically, it's reviews, online reviews, and how to handle them. And specifically, this boils down to like pricing at Game Over. Because reviews are out there for every product, every store, every service, even every person on social media. You basically you review your friends. That sweater's ugly. Or I love that food that you're about to eat. Everybody gets reviewed everywhere all the time. It's just a thing that we do now in society, and it sucks because people often are not either honest with it. Or they take their honesty to a fault, where it's like you really shouldn't be so honest with somebody about how they look or whatever. But anyway, you get reviews as a business. We deal with this. Game Over's been in business since 2005, so we've been in business 17 years. Had a lot of reviews. If you add up all the reviews on our stores individually, our company overall, Facebook comments and everything, we've been reviewed thousands and thousands and thousands of times. Overall, I guess if you add them all together, probably a 4.5 out of 5-star review. Overall, the reviews are always really, really good. And so that's great. It makes me feel good. It makes our employees feel good. So we all feel good. Everybody loves a good review, right? But what about the bad ones? For me, with Game Over, that's always been probably one of the hardest things, mentally to deal with. When you run a business, there's the stress of having to pay all the bills, and that's and be the one kind of orchestrating everything logistically, and that's hard and that's stressful. But then the reviews, it's something that over the years, over these thousands and thousands of reviews, we get some bad ones. Everybody gets bad ones, but you have to really try and focus on the good ones, because the bad ones can really just kind of eat you up. It really, they hurt your feelings. They, make you feel like, you're doing something wrong. You messed up. You're inadequate in some way that, that maybe, people don't feel, the same way, everybody, about you or your business or whatever. So it's tough. And so, everybody, myself included, has to always, with any review that's not all glowing or all 5 stars or every comment and word in there is great, you have to kind of take it with a grain of salt and be like, okay, well, maybe there's some truth there, or maybe that person just doesn't know what they're talking about there. But it's tough to do because, anybody who's a small business owner like me, when you own the business, you created the business, it's really like a kid. It's 17 years old. I created it, I birthed it, I've raised it, from a young little store, and now it's this practically adult, 17-year-old, And and so if anybody makes fun of it or talks down to it or talks bad about it, it hurts my feelings, and that's hard to separate. So we had a review recently that really kind of made me think about this again, because we get reviews all the time. Like I said, most of them are all really good. Even this one was good. But the thing that got me about this one was it was a friend, an employee. A former employee, friend, somebody that's known me forever, that's shopped with us forever, like actually spends money in our store all the time. So here's the review. It was, staff is super nice, store is clean, well organized, priced a bit high. And it was 5 stars. So 5 stars is good. Everything they mentioned in there is good and true, I feel. But putting priced a bit high on there, that's something that normally is considered kind of negatively, right? Like people don't normally go to a place like, oh, that one's priced high, I'm going to go shop there. So it's not really like a positive thing. But it's not unique to this one person. It's just, all of these, reviews that talk about pricing and over the years, over the 17 years and thousands of reviews, probably when it comes to the negative ones, there's only a few things that people tend to point out with Game Over. And it's not that we're not run well or the stores don't look clean and organized and that they're, easy to shop and all that. It normally boils down to 3 negative or semi-negative things that people point out, which is like trade-in, values, like why are they so low? And we've gone into that on the show, and I could do that again on another show. But so that's one of the complaints.
I don't agree with that one.
Huh?
I don't agree with that one.
Dan doesn't agree with that one? Yeah. But it's, everybody thinks their stuff is worth what it's worth, right? Like a $50 game. Why is it not worth $50? Because it's old now. Why is it not worth half of that? Because it's not selling as fast now. So it's like you get, often when you trade stuff in at a store, really anywhere, but especially at a resale store, you get pennies on the dollar. That's just the way it is. But so we hear comments about that with trade-in prices. And then you have the customer service issues. Sometimes we have an employee that, maybe doesn't do or say the right thing, or, customers see or hear something that maybe wasn't really seen or heard, but just, sometimes customers kind of see things in their own way, and they may think an employee was being rude and they really weren't, or they may think they didn't get told what the return policy was, but they really did. And so sometimes it's just kind of explaining to them like, well, this is the way it really happened, or this is the way our policy really is, and then trying to resolve that situation. But bigger than anything, of the small amount of negative reviews we get, the one thing that seems to come up is price a lot. And this has been all over, the years. For 17 years, this has been coming up. And it's funny because, even though it's not really a personal attack, like store sucks, people suck, David sucks or whatever, it always, just like anything else, I take it pretty personally. But because of owning the business and running the business, and obviously I want to, stay in business, and so we have to make money to do that. But there's always going to be, people out there that don't really understand, why you buy something in a retail store, and it's more expensive than buying it on Amazon or on eBay or from a, flea market, buy, sell, trade, a friend price off of price charting or something. And why is the store charging me more than price charting for a game? It's like, well, price charting averages in, Friends and eBay and Amazon and all those massively, competitive low price places, some of which these days aren't even as low price. Like our prices are actually lower sometimes than Amazon or eBay. But the averages, they average so many in there that a lot of the quantity that they take into calculating that, it just drags the average values down. So retail prices tend to be a little higher. But plus, when it comes to pricing, I always like to explain to people that, I don't ever want to be the most expensive place to buy video games. But there's no way I can even try to be the cheapest place, because obviously having a store, having employees, having a business that's legit, we pay our taxes, we pay sales taxes to the state, we pay federal taxes, we pay, all kinds of rent, insurance, utilities, labor, all that kind of stuff. Those prices go up every year too, right? So even without COVID or the fact that retro gaming prices have really shot up the past couple years across the board, every year it's more expensive to do what I do every year, because nobody works a job for a year and doesn't want a raise in a year. No landlord lets us stay in a shopping center and the next year doesn't want more for rent. Taxes They never go down, you know. And so, you know, every single expense that goes into what we call overhead of running a business literally goes up every year. And so the fact that game over prices haven't constantly gone up every single year for 17 years is pretty amazing. That more or less they're pretty similar. You know, most games in our stores are still under $20. Probably half of our games are under $10. But just, you know, what used to be maybe 5 is now 10, or what used to be maybe 1 or 2 is now 5, or something like that. So they've gone up, but not crazy amounts. But, you know, that's just based on, you know, inflation and retro gaming prices adjusted and stuff like that. But anyway, the comments about, you know, pricing, just like everything else, you know, I take it a little personally, and I get, you know, frustrated when people, you know, post stuff like that, because, you know, especially somebody that has, like in this you know, one particular review, you know, everything else is overly positive. And, you know, so it's like you appreciate the presentation, you appreciate the store, you appreciate, you know, everything's clean, organized and stuff like that, and then don't appreciate that it cost money to do that. You know, so I mean, there's a reason most stores look crappier than Game Over stores when they're selling old games. You know, they don't have price tags, or they don't have it alphabetized, or even sorted by section. It's just like crap on a shelf. You know, you want to buy my crap on a shelf? Okay. Does it work? No warranty. You know, whatever. But you know, it's the cost that goes behind the scenes to make it possible to run a business like we run it, and to have a return policy and a staff and to pay our bills and stuff like that. It costs money. But I'm here to say I'm not insanely profitable. I have not made, you know, a vast fortune on Game Over. You know, in our 17 years, probably half of those years, I've either made very little money, broke even, or even a couple of those years lost money. Like technically, we ended up negative for the year, which you know, that. It seems like that would be just something on paper, but it's not on paper, because I still have to pay the rent and the employees and stuff. So there have been more than one year where I've had to actually pull, you know, more money out of my savings and my personal accounts and credit cards and stuff to float into Game Over, just to keep the lights on, just to keep the business going. You know, the most recently, even during COVID in 2020, I mean, we were already before COVID. We had closed a few stores and started to kind of, you know, just downsize a little bit, just to you know, make up for the fact that, like, you know, the competition, you know, was rising. Amazon, eBay, you know, just internet shopping in general was becoming so big that, like, and the selection of retro games was getting smaller, that we had to kind of adjust and pivot. And so we were cutting back before COVID. We definitely cut back during COVID. And, you know, and I think during COVID, to get us out of COVID, you know, I ended up having to go so far into personal funds, maxed out every credit card, every line of credit that I could for Game Over and everything, just to get us back, you know, open, and able to you know, stay in business. And so even after, at that point, it was 15, 16 years in, you would think we'd be pretty sustainable by that point, but it was almost like starting all over, you know, a couple years ago. You know, and so that's been really rough, but yeah, so like half the time, you know, little or no money. The other half the time, you know, made money. Not what I would call, like, you know, a rich or like high, you know, upper middle class, but you know, fine. You know, I did fine. I made money. You know, I did well, and you know, our family was fine. We were able to, you know, do fine off of that. And then there've probably been like 1 or 2 years where I would call them like really profitable. Like we actually made like a lot of money. You know, most of the times when that happens, though, it rolls back into the business. So then it's, you know, it's, hey, how about a, you know, big truckload of plushies? You know, it's not like, you know, money coming out. So, so anyway, even when the years are good, it just helps, you know, to sustain us through more of the bad years. But anyway, it's just the overall pricing thing that just, you know, seeing this review, it just got me thinking about that. And that from time to time, I just like to kind of explain to people, you know, why. Because, you know, like, you know, I'll train my store managers in this too, that, you know, when you're training an employee and talking to them or you know, or even explaining any kind of policy to anybody at any workplace, you know, don't just tell them this is how we do it or this is how it is. You got to tell them the why. And that's almost more important than the rule is the why. Because I think it's important that people know, you know, I mean, prices in Game Over may be the one thing about Game Over that some of you don't really like, or like you wish, man, I wish they were a little bit cheaper. But but at the same time, that's just the one thing that I won't say it's beyond our control, but it's almost beyond our control because it's just so predetermined by the fact that, you know, we got to pay landlords more every year. We got to pay employees more every year. You know, games are harder to come by every year. So we end up buying more stuff, paying more money for the trades we get in. You know, we used to pay, you know, you still probably won't get what you hoped for a trade in, you know, but what used to be maybe pennies a game, maybe is dollars a game now. And so it's like we're paying more than we've ever paid for trades right now. And the money just goes extremely fast. And so, you know, it's tough. It's really tough to make it. And so I just thought that, you know, by having this come up, it's a good conversation to have. It's a good way to, you know, a good excuse to kind of talk about pricing and why things are what they are, you know, and as you go to, you know, maybe your business or other stores or businesses that, you know, if you go in a place and wonder like, why is this so expensive, or, you know, why isn't something cheaper? You know, you have to think about like, it's not just straight up, you know, the value of that product. It's the value of the work and the labor and all the behind the scenes stuff that goes into creating that product. And if you pay the full cost of something, including all that background, you know, fees and expenses, it often adds up to more than you really think. And so I ask everyone to be understanding of that with Game Over, because it's one thing that, you know, I always try and, like I said, I try and walk that line with Game Over where, you know, we're never going to be the cheapest, but I don't ever want us to be the most expensive either. So we may be, you know, at price charting, you know, levels, we may be above price charting levels or above or below eBay or Amazon, you know, prices from time to time. But like we're not far. You know, we're very much in the zone or in the range of all of those things. You know, we're close to price charting Amazon, eBay, everything. Sometimes one will be higher than us. Sometimes we might be higher than them. But like on the whole, on the average, you know, I think everything that we do, it's a fair price for what it is, including the condition, the presentation, the staff, and the overhead and everything that goes into making a store like Game Over work. So anyway, so that's kind of the background of, you know, why pricing is what it is, and also just how, you know, I guess I ask people to, you know, as they do reviews and stuff like that, and not just of Game Over, but of other places too, you know, don't be so quick to judge a place. And, you know, I know there's people that review stuff all the time, and they want to be the first to review, and they want to be the most like scathing review. And like, this one is so, you know, horrible. Like, you know, dogs wouldn't eat it at this restaurant, or, you know, like nobody would shop at this store. And it's all about being negative and, you know, saying, you know, bad, shocking and, you know, disturbing things. And, but even sometimes when it's kind of nice and kind of a compliment, you know, it can be kind of a, you know, a letdown to have, you know, kind of one thing scar your impression, and then also to feel like you need to actually, you know, post that on a comment to get people to get everyone to see it, because anything that's negative in any way might have, you know, one person see it that's on the fence, that's like, should I go to this place or this place? And if one of them says it's a little bit high priced at this place, they might not go to that place, even though for the item they're looking for, maybe we're cheaper, or maybe the price is the same. But even if it's higher, there might be more of a chance we have it in stock and the other store doesn't. And that's why, you know, their prices are lower. They're sold out all the time. We price higher so we can keep it in stock. There's all kinds of reasons for that. But you know, don't judge a store based on a review, and don't feel like you know need to lash out at a store or a business or a friend or somebody on Facebook or something and just post anything, because, you know, you want to be understanding of people and understand that whatever somebody does, there's probably, you know, a backstory on why it is what it is. You know, we wouldn't be in business 17 years if the prices were horrible. You know, if the prices are too low, the stores would be empty. All of our stuff would be sold. It'd be gone. If the prices were too high, we'd also be out of business because our stores would be packed with all stuff, no customers. Nobody would ever buy anything. We'd have no money coming in. We would die. So the fact that we've been going 18 or 17 years means that we're constantly, every year, every month, trying to walk that line, walk that balance between, you know, pricing it enough to make money to survive, but low enough that somebody's willing to buy it. Because we need the revenue coming in, just like you sell us your games because you need money. We need to sell the games we have so we can make money and pay our bills. So, circle of life. But anyway, so that's it on that. If you haven't already, and you are a fan of Game Over Video Games, please give us a review. We do love having reviews. We prefer obviously the nice stuff, but tell us honest feedback. We do try and improve based on feedback. You can also always reach out to me if you want me to talk about anything specific, or reach out to you, or anything you see on the show that you want to talk about. You can reach out at podcast@gameovervideogames.com. And yeah, so that's kind of the background on the pricing, and probably our most commonly mentioned negative aspect of Game Over on reviews being the pricing. And so I just wanted to take some time to kind of break that down on the why. Because like I said, I can't always tell somebody I'm just going to say yes to everything you want, or fix any problem or resolve any issue. But I do think it's important to explain the why of why something is what it is, and then you decide at that point if it's worth what it is. So hopefully you all decide that the Game Over prices are good and definitely worth what we put into them on the back end, because we definitely work extra hard to give you clean stores, organized selection, massive inventory, and great customer service. And we do everything we can to stay in business, even though all those things cost money. So that's where the pricing goes. So anyway, we appreciate all of you, and thank you for your support, and thanks for listening to the boss battle for today. So now we're going to go into the bonus level and talk about fan feedback and talk about your comments on the show. And we're back with the bonus level, fan feedback. So this is the part of the show where I talk about all of your comments and questions and suggestions and everything that you think about the shows, good or bad. So I'll run down the list. We had several great comments this week. Gameplay Lick said, awesome haul. Thanks for keep up the great work. Happy Father's Day to everyone. So yeah, last week was Father's Day. I hope you called Dad and told him, thanks, Dad, for, making me and hopefully raising me and helping me in life through all those difficult things that I've been through. Because we all go through difficult stuff, and you need your parents, you need your mom, you need your dad sometimes. So thank you to him for that comment. Chris said that he noticed that the post was late last week. Yeah, sorry. And this is funny because he said also that he, I guess, was in Houston last week and noticed they were out of the Neo Geo minis. And, because we started carrying this whole Neo Geo section in each store, and it includes the little mini arcades. Yeah. And our first shipment of those sold out pretty quickly. And we got more in, but we hadn't gotten any to the Houston stores. And so what's funny, Chris, about your comment is that both those are related. Because the reason the show got up late Friday is because I was actually in Houston on Friday, and I had to load up our van and get all their stuff, including Neo Geo stuff and a bunch of other things too. And I was delivering it to the 3 Houston stores on Friday, and I didn't get back until late, till 7 or 8 o'clock. So that's why I didn't post the show until then. I wanted to do it before I left, but I ended up leaving at 6 in the morning. So it was one of those days where I worked from 6 in the morning till 10 at night. So I was driving to and from Houston, from Austin, left at about 6, got back about 8 or so, and then from 8 to 10 trying to do email and catch up on a few other things here before going home, just posting the show and stuff like that. So anyway, so long story short, the Houston Neo Geo outage has been fixed. They're stocked again. The show is posted. Sorry it was late, but yeah, I mean, it's it's the way, we were talking about this earlier, I guess, the way small business is, it's tough sometimes. And as the owner, I don't just sit at a desk all day. There's times when, stuff needs to happen in a store, and I go out and do that in the store, and so I drove a van from Austin to Houston and back that day, went to all 3 of our stores there. I did a small remodeling project at one of them, put up some new security cameras at one of them, dropped off stuff like Neo Geo things, picked up some other stuff. Yeah, it was a long day, but that's some of the extracurricular type stuff that I do that's not sitting at a desk. And honestly, it's some of my favorite stuff. Actually, when I get out into a store, I love driving. First of all, I love travel. I love being in a car. I love being able to just kind of zone out. I don't have a lot of peace and quiet where I'm not, typing emails all day or something. And so getting out of the office and into a car or on a plane where I can just kind of chill for a couple hours is always really nice. And then visiting the stores, I love. I mean, all of our stores have, a personal connection to me because I remember, when I, found that location, when I set up that location or remodeled that location. I love all of our employees, and so getting to visit with them in person instead of just sending them email messages back and forth. I love that, and I always end up interacting with customers along the way too, and that's always fantastic. I like getting out from behind the curtain, at times to do that. It's just that there's so much email and bills and stuff I have to do behind the curtain that I have to, stay back there. So I'm kind of like I'm trapped in my little my little jail cell back there most of the time. And so every once in a while I get like the work release program. I get out and get to roam the town and roam the country, and I love that. So anyway, yeah. The outage has been fixed, and Houston stores are doing well. So what's up, Houston stores? Then we got Ricky. It's a great show. He said it was fascinating last week, hearing us talk about our collections. So like Dan and I were on doing a show and tell last week, and he was talking about how he really loves that part of the show when we do that, because it's not just that we have cool stuff. Like all of us watching the show probably have some cool gaming stuff at our houses, and seeing it like on a desk or on a shelf or something, that's cool. But what's really fun, and I think what he's talking about here is like, hearing the story behind each thing, like where did this phone come from, this Mario phone? Like what is my connection to Atari? Why is Rob holding the microphone? Which I don't know if we'll ever really know that. But like everything has like a story behind it. And so, hearing Dan and I both talk about, some of the history and some like things we had as kids or things like last week I had from my kids. And it's just, yeah, I mean, I agree. I think life is a lot of fun when you're going through it, but it's also like the stories you create, through living, you can go back and the nostalgia and the reminiscing of those experiences, that's something that kind of gets you through, especially through the hard times. You remember the good times of, past days and how you acquired certain things or the story or meaning behind them. So anyway, so that's really cool. I'm glad you appreciate that, and I definitely like that part too. He also said that he's noticed the shift in Game Over stores because we've remodeled or moved a lot of stores in the past few years. And while we used to have huge stores, like most Game Over stores used to be like 2 or 3 times the size of an average, GameStop or something. And we just had cartridges all over the walls, all over, just like, Atari, like floor to ceiling, NES carts, floor to ceiling, just tons of them. Literally more than we had room for, and they were just everywhere. And now most of the cartridges are in glass cases along the front. And on the one hand, that's necessary because of security, because people steal stuff, and I hate that, but it just is logical to kind of put things in cases like that to protect them. But it's also more of a reality of what we talked about last week about the future of retro gaming store, market. Because, I was talking about how, in my opinion, and this is just an opinion, but I've been in this industry a long time. I've worked for game stores and then obviously owned this one for 17 years that, they've changed a lot, and there's been ups and downs. And right now, we're kind of riding a high. Retro gaming, prices are at an all-time high. So, once again, like everybody wants to open a retro gaming store. It's awesome. Everybody can make money doing it. It's fantastic, thing to do. But those times, come and go, and then you find out who really has the desire and the business chops, or just the willingness to, sink a bunch of their own personal money into it when the times are not so good. That's when you see who's really going to go the distance. But that probably, even though we're riding this high right now, and there's thousands of stores like Game Over around the country that sell retro games, that number I expect to shrink significantly in the next 5 to 10 years, because there's just less stuff. There's less stuff. And so Ricky was, commenting on that he's seen at Game Over stores, as we've, remodeled the stores, there are less cartridges. There's less Atari games. There's less NES games and stuff like that, because a lot of times we sell them, and for every, say 2 or 3 games, cartridge games that we sell, we may get 1 or 2 traded in to replace them. So like the size of the inventory is constantly going down. It's harder and harder every year to keep those cases or sections full. For some of the really high demand stuff like Nintendo 64 right now, GameCube right now, Dreamcast, we have some stores that are lucky to have like 10 games for those systems. because they're just we get them. They come in, but it's just they sell the second we get them. And it's just no matter what price is on them, it's just they sell because they're in such demand that that people will buy them just the second they come in the store. It's crazy. So it's hard to keep a section merchandised. But anyway, yeah. So that's and he's talking about too with along those lines, not only at Game Over stores, but he says going to garage sales. I guess he used to go. A lot of people used to go around to like thrift stores and Goodwills and garage sales and look for their video game section. And they used to have a video game section, like a big section. And now most of the times thrift stores have very little or no video games, and garage sales have very little or no video games. The market is really drying up, and more collectors every year scoop it up. There's no new product coming in, and so then the available pool of items for sale, it gets smaller and smaller and more expensive because supply and demand, it's getting very warped in the wrong direction on those. So anyway, but it's funny that he really liked that story, and he said he's seen that over the years in Game Over, in garage sales and flea markets and stuff like that, how that's changed has happened. And so so it's pretty sad, but I do hope. He's saying that most the brick and mortar stores won't survive once the current gen goes 100% digital. He says that most gaming stores in general just will go away, which is probably true. I think, well, not Game Over, but I mean, if let's say there's not counting GameStops, because GameStops I think also will go away someday, but all the non-GameStop game stores, there's probably over 1,000 now, probably a couple thousand in the country, but at least 1,000 I would say. I bet every year, probably, maybe not half, but maybe 20% probably will close every year. And so within 5 years, there's going to be a big chunk of them gone. Because it's just, you do this kind of a job, this kind of store, for fun, for, it's a personal interest, it's a hobby, stuff like that. But like I was telling you earlier in the show when we were talking about pricing and stuff, like most years of doing a store like Game Over, have been pretty, moderately successful, I would say, where I either break even or I make a little bit of money or lose a little bit of money, but I stay pretty close to zero or pretty close to like a low level of income. But it's tough, and so sure, during those peak years we make money, but you go through enough of the dips and it sucks that money right away. So it's tough to make it long term, and so I do think, and I'll go on record as saying, I want Game Over to be one of the last. I want to be one of the last stores standing. So we'll be around as long as we possibly can. But a lot of the other stores that just don't have as much experience guiding them or as much financial support and stuff like that. I mean, the second this market turns, they're going to be gone. And it's going to turn pretty quickly as the stuff goes digital, like what Ricky's saying. So yeah, I definitely hope Game Over is one of the last, and I think we're definitely structured the best, and we're built for the long term, so we can definitely go a long way. And I think there'll be some market for physical stuff always. So people always want a Mario phone or a Rob or a classic console or cartridge just for collectible purposes. But the stores will get smaller and smaller, the selection will get smaller and smaller, and the prices will get higher. That's just going to keep happening. So anyway, that's the look into the future there. And then a side question he had about graded games. So he was asking about graded games, like, what do we do if we get a graded or sealed game traded in, and how do we price them? And so that's a really good question too, and I'll try and give a pretty short answer to that, but explain a little bit. So, like actual graded games that come in, like from like Wata, in the little plastic thing with the like 7.5 on the top or something, we don't see those much. I think we've had maybe a few of those come in ever at Game Over stores, so we don't see those a whole lot. We do see a lot of sealed stuff come in, and I don't know if you've ever looked on eBay or price charting or anything like that. I mean, no matter what the game is, when it's sealed, the price goes up substantially. And if it's sealed and graded, the price goes up like insanely. Sometimes. Yeah, I mean, there might be like a $10 game that like sealed is, say 20, 30, 40 bucks. But then if it's graded and sealed, maybe it's like 400. It's like some crazy jump. And so for us, I mean, we don't see many of the games that are actually graded and rated, with those like third-party companies. But sealed stuff, we always try and kind of walk the line. Again, like we were talking about pricing, we don't want to be too high, we don't want to be too low. So like if price charting says a sealed is $50 and the graded sealed is like $500, we're probably going to go somewhere in between, because we don't want to go $500 because we're not crazy, but we don't want to go $50 either because that's crazy too. So we'll go somewhere in the middle, like $100, $200, something like that.
Be careful with the graded stuff because like some companies are more reputable than others with that. So like.
Yeah. So Dan's saying some companies are more reputable on the gradings, and that's true, but
like I don't think I would ever buy a graded video game. It's just not my.
Yeah. Well, the people that buy graded video games are a different kind of people. Those are more like, they're not even video game collectors per se. Mostly they're just like collectible collectose. Yeah. So they're the kind of person that would buy like a classic car and never drive it, and they'd buy like a vintage piano and don't know how to play. Those are people that buy things as an investment, and they just want to hold on to it with the assumption that it's going to go up in value, and then they're going to resell it, but they're not ever going to use it or touch it. But yeah, there is a big difference between sealed pricing and graded pricing, and there's been a lot of controversy over the graded pricing and how they, manipulate the market, and they control some of the bidding sites so that they help, inflate their own prices and profits by doing that. And so that's why it's tough. Like if someone brought something in and it's sealed and graded, and it says it's worth like in price charting like $500, they're not going to get $500 for it. We won't even sell it for $500. It's just like. It's not enough of a reputable source to do that, and it's not realistic that we would be able to actually sell it for that amount. So we'll sell stuff for what's a fair price for what it is, based on condition, overhead, the market, all those kind of factors. But it does us no good to put a price tag on a game that it will never sell at. Because again, I can't pay my bills with video games, just like you guys can't pay your bills with video games. So sometimes you need money, you got to sell your stuff. We need money too every month, so we got to sell our stuff too. You got to have money to pay bills, and so we will price the best we can to find a fair price for things. But yeah, sealed and graded, there's often a very large gap, and we try and never go too close to the sealed price, the graded price, but also, we'll go, often above the regular sealed price, because a lot of times the sealed stuff can get graded and then it's worth, 10 times the value. So we don't want to, not price it assuming that. So we'll go somewhere in the middle. So, but it's very tricky. And we actually have a dedicated person, doing pricing at Game Over. At times it's been me, but also at times over the years we've had several. I think we've had 5 different people besides me, over the years setting prices at Game Over. And now there's somebody doing it that's not me again. So, but it's all meant to be, like an independent kind of look at it, where we look at all the sources, all the price range, and try and find a fair price for that particular one with that particular condition. And also not all sealed things are the same either. Sometimes we'll get things sealed in and we're like, I don't know if that's an exact seal or like an original seal, or if that's maybe just one that went through a reseal machine. Because sometimes it's easy to tell, sometimes it's not very easy to tell. I mean, it is not super hard or expensive to get a shrink wrap machine and to shrink wrap something pretty good. So we have to also build in the chance for fraud, on stuff like that. So anyway, sorry, that was kind of a longer answer than I meant to give, but yeah, I really appreciate the comments and the feedback, Ricky. So also thanks to everybody who said hi on my Facebook post.
Hi.
Yeah, so like if you know me, you know that I am not very big on social media. I don't look at it a lot. I don't post on it a lot. I don't like it a lot. So aside from every week posting the links to this show, I don't normally post that much. And but just kind of for fun, I guess. I don't know. Like a week ago, I posted on Facebook and I just wrote hi. That's all I said, or hello, or something like that. And yeah, I got more responses than I think I've ever gotten on a Facebook post. Like when I put substance, I don't get responses. When I put just trivial, just nothing, I get all kinds of responses. So it's just another reason to think Facebook is weird and social media is weird. That people respond to the strangest things, and when something is really serious or meaningful, you often don't get a lot of sincere responses. When Facebook tells you it's someone's birthday and they get 50 people telling them happy birthday, do those people really care about them? Or are they just doing what Facebook tells them to do? Oh, it's his birthday. I guess I see everybody else is posting happy birthday. I guess I got to get on there and put happy birthday on there too. So how many of those people would really care enough to say happy birthday if Facebook wasn't telling them to do it and all their other friends weren't already doing it first? And so they're like, well, I guess I have to do it now or else I'm going to be the only one that doesn't wish them happy birthday. So I don't like the manipulation part like that of Facebook and social media. It's just, I don't know. Anyway, that's just me. But thank you for everyone who said hi back, because I said hi and everybody else that said hi, and it was like I said, it was like a who's who of people on my friend list that I never hear from, a lot of them, and everybody said hi. So hi. So maybe in another week or two I'll be like, how's it going? And see how that works. So we'll have a whole conversation over the course of like a year, and I'll just do one sentence every week or so of the conversation and then see how we do. Anyway, that's just funny. All right, well, that's it for the show. So thank you for watching. Thanks for listening on the podcast. I really appreciate everybody's support, everybody's business and purchases in the Game Over stores, everybody going to Classic Game Fest, everybody just watching this show or referring it to a friend. You give a personal referral to a friend about a cool video game store with very decent prices. We really appreciate that. It means a lot. It keeps me in business longer. It keeps my employees in jobs longer. It keeps our stores open longer. It all contributes to getting that. Every day we need, one more person in the doors. And so if you can help with that, we really appreciate it. If you like the show, if you subscribe to the podcast, that's great. If you watch it on YouTube, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm still trying to get us up to 1,000 subscribers this year. So we're up to like 920, I think, or something. So yeah, that's pretty good, right? But we've never really had consistent content for our YouTube channel, and now we do. We have this weekly, show. So you keep watching, and please subscribe, and you get the little notification or the bell or whatever when we put a new show up, and then you come watch it. So thanks for your support. Thanks for supporting the stores, the show, Classic Game Fest, me, everything that I do. I couldn't do it without you. So if you ever want to reach out, just email podcast@gameovervideogames.com. And that's it for the week. So I hope you all have a great week. Just one more week in June, and then it's July. So crank up the AC, play some games, and hope everybody has a great week. So see you next Friday. Game over. That's what all reviews are, really. They're love letters to the owner of the business.
Yeah.
Dear Sam Walton, Walmart has made my life special. I wake up every day just so excited to go to that big blue beast once again and wave at my friendly elderly greeter and wait in the one fucking line that's open. And then, check out all of my cheap generic brand toilet paper that's 2 cents cheaper than Target, but I drove all the way to Walmart just to save that 2 cents. Then I go to my car, probably get asked 3 times to donate money to some homeless person in the parking lot, then get my stuff in my car and go home. Yeah. So, and that's Walmart for you. Dear Walmart, we love you. Okay, we gotta do something different, like a video game show.
Oh, that's a good idea.